Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hotel Dropouts. It has been a very long hiatus, mostly because of me being sick. I had not realized you can catch flus back to back. And I had also not realized that if you don't get on your coughing, like if you just let it, if you just cough and you let it, you just keep coughing and then you don't really do anything to mitigate the symptoms, it can develop into acute bronchitis. So that's a lesson learned. Today I'm here joined by Dan, and we're gonna do some gaming and indulge ourselves in some Charlie Cook conspiracy. I wonder if the
Hello,
algorithm is gonna
everyone.
picked up on the Charlie Cook and it's just immediately just shadow ban this video. Not that it matters though.
Oh,
I
should
don't
we
think we
replace
have
the
enough
name?
followers to justify a shadow ban.
Sure. It might even cause more attention than we have right now.
Yeah, it freaking sucks. How's it been with you, Dan? Give the lovely people an update from you because you've been really quiet. It's radio silence.
Not really much to update. I've been on a vacation and I came back, and mostly was just kind of getting back on track. I was also sick for a little bit, but that has passed. Nothing serious, just a minor cold. Um, Not really much to mention. Oh yeah, we were driving pretty far away one day, and unfortunately my car broke down, so we had to hire some to what do you call it? Like they
Like
load the car on
roadside
the truck,
rescue.
and then yeah. That's what we had to do just a couple of days ago, actually.
I should tell you a story about my roadside rescue kerfuffle. This happened when I was still in the States, when I was still in Miami. And then like I was meeting a friend. Uh then one thing led to the next. He's basically naked in my car. He didn't have nothing sexual. Like we went to the beach and then everything got wet. Didn't even have a towel, so he was just naked in my car. And then my car broke down, and we had to call rescue. And then it's the most macho like Latino men showed up. Um, and then, oh my goodness, I swear to God, like the guy saw what was inside, and then like he did the prayer thing with his cross on his neck.
Ah,
You know,
oh my God.
thankfully, like I don't know, I wonder if I would be shot on sight in today's America. Speaking of shot on sight, I have been obsessed with the Charlie Kirk thing. So last time we briefly talked about this, but I basically came across two things that just makes it so freaking sus. Like the whole they identified a guy, the Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old, a permanently online Redditor, Mormon. It's all the wrong combination, to be honest, for a teen, but still, the the FBI came out with the text. Did you see those? Dan? Dan?
Sorry, I got distracted for a moment. I didn't even
Oh my god.
listen to the question. I'm so sorry.
My voice is so buttery. It's like background radio.
No, we to be honest, the thing is that we started the episode early all of a sudden. It was just like
That is true.
a random decision, and my wife wanted to mention something, and she got really angry that all of a sudden I cannot talk to her. So I thought I found a nice spot where I could listen to her question and give my answer, but apparently not.
No, get her a mic. She should join.
We should do that one day.
That would be fun, because we had episodes where we talked about our own red flags, and it would be really interesting to hear from your wives slash your girlfriend's point of view. I'm the only single guy in
Mhm.
in the group, so there's no one to rat me out. So I should have an I'll have an episode with your wife and with with Bernard's girlfriend. That would be fun.
Yeah, you'll be like interviewer or like the judge.
Exactly, and it's gonna get really saucy as well. We need to deliver for our listeners. Wait, no. So I was talking about the text messages between Tyler Robinson and his supposed girlfriend slash boyfriend at the time.
Mhm.
Did you see those? The text?
N- No, no, I haven't really seen anything after like the
Ah,
first couple
okay.
of days when it happened.
'Cause, like the whole thing just was so strange because first of all, like going back to the scene of the crime, like when the shots were fired, right? There was an old man who George Zinn, by the name of George Zinn, immediately came out and he was yelling like, "I did it, arrest me!" Right? So people thought that was a decoy, but I think that's largely debunked because he's a crazy guy who has shown up to major political events and then just he would scream and then draw attention to himself. But in any case,
Mm.
like there were a lot of holes in the investigation and in the things that have been published by the FBI, led by our beloved Kash Patel. And the text message was so weird because the I don't know how much was redacted, but the boyfriend slash girlfriend pretty much just didn't say anything. He slash she just wrote what with a bunch of question marks, and then Tyler Robinson proceeded to confess the crime in its entirety. Basically, he described his egress from the shot, from everything that followed, all the events that happened following the crime. And
Mhm.
he described what he did with the rifle, where he went, like what happened, and then how long he stayed in the area. And then it sounded like cop language, and people just thought that was weird because no 22-year-old would text like this. And the text message didn't come out with any timestamps or anything, and it's a redacted version as well. Like supposedly there were more messages, but it was just so strange because why would he confess to his girlfriend slash boyfriend before he was caught? It was just so weird. Everything was in there, and then
So
uh,
did this story check out?
no, we don't know yet because it's just been
Ah.
we literally don't know. Like everything is still happening right now, and then so
Mhm.
at first people thought the text messages were faked, but then because and on top of this, right, like he supposedly was ratted out by the family. Like the family turned him in. His girlfriend slash boyfriend, we'll just
Yeah, I
call
heard
them
that.
Lance, right? This male to female trans roommate who was romantically involved with Tyler supposedly was
Mhm.
very cooperative with the FBI, gave them all the information they needed. But the question, and then there's just some things in the text that didn't make sense, like he like I said described everything that happened to what happened to the rifle. And then there was at one point, like he explained, Tyler explained that ever since the Trump assassination or something, that the family turned very MAGA. Uh, and you would expect that
Mm.
whoever is dating you, this would be something you already talked about, right? Like it's a very weird place to put in an explanation. Um,
Yeah.
and then so everything kind of didn't make sense, and there was a whole conspiracy of how he managed to get on the roof, shoot the rifle, and then the rifle supposedly was from his grandfather, based on the text that was released by the FBI. Because he in the text he mentioned that he was going to be super afraid of what happened, that if his father would find out that he took his
Mhm.
grandfather's old World War II era hunting rifle, and and then so people were kind of like, based on the security footage, I think the Utah police or police chief or something came up with the early explanation saying that he went on the roof, he shot the rifle, disassembled the rifle, and then climbed down because we have the security footage of him jumping off the building, right?
Yeah.
And then people were saying it's not possible that you can disassemble a gun that fast and then jump down. And then they recovered the rifle in the woods, and the rifle was assembled again. It's an old rifle. So another question was, how do you manage to
Mhm.
disassemble, and then assemble the rifle in so fast? In any case, like there's so many tiny details, but it's only until like yesterday that I saw two things that was super fucking sus. uh, One was that in the deposition, in the preliminary hearing of Tyler Robinson, the judge was basically reading out all the basic information. Right? Can you confirm your name is Tyler Robinson? And then things like that. And then there were two versions. There was one that was released by like a local news in Salt Lake City, and then there's one that came from ABC News. And then the Salt Lake City local news version basically had showed the whole the deposition and the hearing, and it basically went like this, right? The judge started confirming his name, confirming the event, and then confirming the prosecution's theory of, I guess, the prosecution's accusation, which is that, oh, Tyler Robinson supposedly murdered Charlie Kirk because Charlie was spreading too much hate, right? And then once
Mhm.
after the all the deposition, like all the things have been said, all the statements have been made, we see that in the footage that like, because throughout the whole thing you see Tyler Robinson, and he was just sitting there in a anti-suicide vest. Didn't really make any move. He was practically stationary the whole time. And once the hearing was over, once the depositions, everything was finished, he had a gentle nod, like a very quick nod to acknowledge that, okay, everything is done, right? But in the ABC
Mhm.
News version, they edited so that Tyler Robinson nodded at the time when the judge said, basically he said, "Oh, you murdered Charlie Kirk because he was spreading too much hate." Right. So the footage was completely doctored.
Wow.
They made it so that he nodded at the time the accusation was explained, like his motives were motivations were explained. So that was the first thing. That was super
Wow.
weird. Like, why would you do that? It was really weird. And it's still not like the news came out. I think it's still circulating online. It's not really been it's been picked up by a few podcasters, but not really, fully spread out. And then the second thing was yesterday that I saw there were some gun tubers, right? These are people that are very familiar with the rifles. And I
Mhm.
forgot what's the term for the caliber. What was this? 36 oct or something. But basically, they were describing that the police said the crime was committed using an old school rifle, like a rifle with scope, with optics. And
So yeah.
and then so I don't know if they specifically mentioned the model of the gun or something. And I'm kind of curious why that hasn't come out yet, because they retrieved the gun, right? Why won't you release information on what the gun was? But in any case, the
Mhm.
hunting rifle, within 200 yards, right? Within 200 yards, the hunting rifle is capable of exploding a squirrel, right? Like it packs
Yeah.
so much power that they did ballistic tests. Like they shot at one of those gelatin dummies, and
Mhm.
holy shit, like they shot at the neck, right? The whole thing was decapitated. That's so much power, right? And
Yeah.
so they were saying, okay, that doesn't check out, because they reviewed the. So I don't know if you remember this, but I sent you guys the very gruesome video of him getting shot, right? Like we see it up
I
close,
saw it. Yeah, yeah, I
right?
remember.
Like he was basically shot, and then he went
Just a
into like
little
he went
through
really
a little
stiff.
hole.
Exactly. And I went back to the footage because I didn't believe this, because I was watching them covering the same thing. Zoom in super close to the neck. Go in. I was using my editing software to do this. I went frame by frame. I zoomed in, and I kid you not, no joke. How is this possible? Like I, s- it was. I basically confirmed this. There was at the moment that he was shot, right? Before he did the jolt thing, before he
Mhm.
kind of like froze in place, there was blood splatter behind his neck, right? And so from
Oh.
that, you can tell he was shot from behind. And then so he was shot from behind, supposedly. So there was some blood splatter in the back of his neck, and then the wound in the front showed up. Like you see that the hole started to expand. But even then,
Mhm.
that hole is tiny. That hole is tiny. And so uh, these gun troopers came out and say that basically for that to happen, it would have had to been a small caliber arms, like a pistol, a small caliber bullet, right? And it would
Yeah.
have to had hit Charlie Kirk in the spine so that he jolts into that, freezes into that position. Because apparently they, when they hunt, they've seen this happen to animals. Um,
Mhm.
and then for the bullet to come out to create, because like the bullet, the entry wound is small, but then once it exits,
Yeah, that's
it
what I'm
becomes big,
thinking.
right? And then there's a minimum
Mhm.
distance or something. I'm not too sure what they mean by I'm not too sure what the terminology is, but basically it if you shoot someone at super close range, when the bullet enters you, hits something, and then exits, it's not going to leave a massive bullet hole on
Huh.
exit. So you need to have, what was it, 12 yards or something, 12 meters? I forgot the measurement, but you need to be from a certain distance away
Mhm.
for the full kinetic power to, I guess, explode the exit wound, right? So if you shot somebody
Huh.
from afar through the chest, you would see the exit wound on the back is massive, like it's huge, right, compared to the
Mhm.
caliber of the bullet. And so
Maybe if it's really close, it's going that fast that it doesn't have the time to expand.
I guess so,
I'm just
yeah.
guessing.
So that's that's their theory. So these are the two things that lately that just made me feel like I hate to indulge myself
Wow.
in conspiracy, but some things, like these two things happening, like it's so weird, and I feel a
I haven't
chill.
given it a thought.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. I
right?
know what you mean.
Because if you think about it,
It
like, have you seen like
when
hunting
we
videos?
when we started this conversation,
Mm,
I thought, okay, it's just gonna be a casual one, nothing special. And then you start to just lay out all these things, and I'm like,
right?
wow, like you're on to something. It
Oh
feels
my
like.
goodness, I don't know why I was so
So
invested.
it's so weird. I didn't think about it. I didn't even give it a thought that actually, if you shoot someone with a rifle, which if it's a hunting one and the round is big, then there's no way it will just this little mm, puncture
Right,
hole.
and you know why this is
It
so.
almost feels like it's something slow going, like or yeah, like a very small thing.
Yeah. And you know why people paid attention to this? Because in the
Oh,
beginning,
and by the way,
yeah.
and the thing that is even more weird is that you said that in the video you can see that the splatter is coming from the back and it's coming before you actually before the hole appears in the front. I wonder, could that be like or- like a codec artifact or something like that, just to rule out
Well,
everything?
but because I could see the video well, it's been compressed time after time, I imagine, like from the original iPhone footage, but I was
Yeah,
still able to get, like, the whole thing was like less than 10 frames, but it was still enough. Like I could see all the different frames and I could see the whole
yeah.
expanding. So that was uh, that told me that it's not likely a, an
Mm-hmm.
artifact, because it was consistent.
I got it.
I'm trying to
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to find that video for you. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's from this gun tuber, and it's sitting. Yesterday when I watched the video, it was like 2 million views. Right now it's 5.7 million views.
Take nothing else.
Wow.
Holy shit, this is so crazy. And the craziest thing about this is that I guess people only kind of paid attention to this because when somebody questioned that the bullet wound was like when the FBI came out and supposedly said that they found out where the gunshot came from, some people came out and said that that doesn't make sense because of because of ballistics, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was like a right wing commentary guy, like a right wing, some kind of personality, who said that that Charlie Kirk had was a Man of Steel theory. So it said that his bones were so dense and strong that it. Okay, no, I understand. I remember it. Yeah, because there were no bullets found on this scene, and it was not reported. Maybe it was found, but it was not reported. And then so somebody came out from the right side. Somebody came out and said that his bones were so strong it stopped the bullet from exiting the wound and hitting people in the back because he had such strong bones. And I think that was
Okay.
that was the thing that kicked off. Like people started to look into it. It's so weird. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
I take this with a grain of salt, but
sus.
it's fun to think about this. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, of course, about the grain of salt,
Mhm.
but wow, you brought up something really interesting.
But
I'm not really sure, like, in a very little way, but still, it kind of shook me a little bit right now.
one thing that I remembered was that the official narrative, right, like from both the left wing party and the right wing party, is to paint this guy as a lone gunman who is insane. Right, like it's a person who has no who's mentally ill and decided to somehow plot a premeditated murder. Okay, and the weird eerie thing about this is that almost all the gun nuts, like all the nut jobs that have ever committed homicide with a gun, they shot more than one people, and it's always indiscriminate. Like it's always indiscriminate, and it
Mhm.
usually like it's even if they wanted to assassinate someone in particular, they're not that methodical about it. They're usually there would be other casualties. It would be just spray and pray, that kind of horrifying
Yeah, yeah.
method. But now like they're trying to convince you that supposedly this 22-year-old madman who is who's just crazy guy who just wanted to kill somebody uh decided to scout out the area. Like some planning would have had to be done, right? Like some planning would be involved.
Mhm.
You would need to plan your exits, your egress, your exit strategy. You would need to plan how to get to the rooftop. Like we still don't know that as well. Um,
Mhm.
and then like everything surrounding it just shouts like to me from an outsider to me like this shouts uh this is intelligence agency, right? Like it almost all the political assassinations that have ever happened was always done by intelligence agencies, and we usually don't know about it until decades after. uh and then do we know if like was that.
Really, is that like a thing? I always thought that everything still stayed in the realm of conspiracy theories. What are the confirmed cases? I'm
Oh no,
afraid I
no.
don't
I was
know
just
any.
saying that in general, the political assassinations are done by agents, and then most of the examples are not in the states. It's the CIA sending somebody
Ah,
to kill someone in Cuba. It's to kill somebody in like other regimes, and I'm
yeah, yeah.
because if you do that in America of all places, that's higher. That's a high difficulty mission, right? As opposed to killing someone somewhere else. And then if you remember the last
Yeah.
time we had this kind of gun not like a high profile insane murderer who just decided to kill somebody, that happened in Japan when a man went really close with a homemade gun to assassinate Shinzo Abe, right? But he wasn't
Hmm.
mad. He just had a he was a man on vengeance. Like he needed I think he did it because Shinzo Abe under Shinzo Abe's administration, some of the because Japan has a very big cult problem, and I think he lost a loved one to a cult that was a sponsor of the Shinzo Abe government. I guess I'm not too sure, but it would make sense, right? Like
Hmm.
these cults, they as crazy as it sounds, cults are actually quite common in Asia. I don't know why. Like in famously in South Korea, famously in Japan, Taiwan as well. We have We have these cults that once they make enough money, they have power. They have political influence.
Hmm.
You could argue that the Mormon Church is kind of the same.
Oh, really?
Like,
I'm not quite sure about their culture, so can't really comment on that.
well, in any case, I don't know. Like, I
So,
feel
so
like
this guy from Japan, you said I'm not sure if I follow. You said that he's somehow involved with some intelligence.
no. I'm saying that it's the guy in Japan that committed this crime was one, not crazy. He had very clear motivations, and
Hmm.
because of that, he chose the most sensible way to assassinate one person and not involved any others. For a normal person
Ah.
to do that is with a homemade gun and up close, right? You want to make sure you don't hit anybody else, or at least minimize, innocent collateral damage. But this one, this assassination of Charlie Kirk, just there's just so many weird. I don't know. It's weird. There's so many holes in the official narrative, and things just don't make sense. I don't know. Like,
Hmm.
do we live in an era of just like, is this normality now in the States? Because the whole
Political violence.
Yeah, the like do you notice how we have, like, even Trump himself, like everybody have stopped talking about the assassination attempt on Trump. Even Trump himself has stopped talking about it. It seems like he's not even bothered by it. Like, wouldn't you don't you think, like, if somebody tried to take your life and you're a presidential candidate, I don't know, I would want to find out what happened. I don't know, like
Well, we don't know if he actually tried and whether he did find out. Maybe
maybe
he's just not sharing it.
Maybe
But
what he found out was that, I don't know. Like, do you feel like what do you think of people that think that there is a dark cabal, there is a Illuminati esque a group of, powerful people behind the scenes that can just take you out, and even if they fail, right? Even if it was a failed assassination attempt, it is enough to scare you into compliance.
hmm, I think it could be possible. Well, definitely there are influential people. I think that at a certain point they might consider assassinating someone. I think it makes sense. I'm not sure if they're that almighty,
Hmm.
but I don't remember where I saw this, but somebody made a good point that most likely what they do is they don't just try to bend everything to how they want it. But I would say they're probably a lot more strategic, and they just sit there, and when an opportunity comes where just a small nudge is enough to make things go in their favor,
Guess
this
so,
is
yeah.
when they do it, and this is how they do it. And it's a lot harder to find any evidence like that, and it's a lot easier, I guess,
Yeah, yeah,
because it's one thing to like set up everything to
uh-huh.
do this, and another thing where there's this guy that maybe is almost ready to do something, and you're like, actually, if he'll do it, that's going to be good for me, and then maybe somehow
Mhm.
we can. Uh, Somehow you can maybe push him to do it. And you know what I remembered as well? Just a while ago, I was watching this video. There's this guy on YouTube. I forgot the name of his channel or his name, but he does really nice analysis of different military and political things that happen. I think he started out with Ukraine, but now he's covering everything. And actually, at that time, he also covered everything. And he was talking about, like, some people would ask him, why is everyone losing their shit over TikTok so much in America? Like why are everyone is so worried? And he explained that most likely it's because TikTok is not like Instagram or some other US-based company where if they do something, their owners are in reach of the law system of US.
Mm-hmm.
While TikTok owner, even if he does something that is bad or illegal to the U.S. government, they will never get him unless he wants it to happen.
Pretty
And
much, yeah. Because I mean,
he,
there is a
some people think that what China is doing with TikTok is they purposely find people that are already kind of leaning towards something probably not good, and but good for China from
yeah,
the
like
point of view that
uh,
to destabilize and cause more problems.
yeah,
And what people are worried is that they use AI algorithm that doesn't really, there's no evil man sitting in China saying, okay, this dude is going to kill someone, right? It's just an algorithm that keeps stirring up anger and isolating people from each other, convincing
pretty
them that they
much,
should
yeah.
commit all these mass shootings and or assassinations.
I think a lot
And
of
if you keep throwing, if you keep trying your chances, at one
yeah.
point you're going. It's just a question of time when you'll succeed.
I think a lot of like young people understand that because there is the official narrative saying, oh, young people just don't want to lose TikTok, which I guess for a majority for a lot of the kids that might be the case. For younger kids that might be the case, but there are lots of TikTok users who simply like it because as you said, it's a company that you can't so easily subpoena information. It's not a company that the U.S. government can pressure into doing anything. And for that reason, it's kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, sort of. Like you're able to see, like you're able to get some information that would have otherwise been the first to censor in the states. And we see this on Instagram threads, on X, on Facebook, just about anything, like even on Reddit, right? Like whenever something whenever something crazy happens, like for instance, the Charlie Kirk assassination, the speed at which like content has been censored is crazy. And the last time this happened was uh it was I don't know if it was the mass shooting or was it Luigi Mangione. That was because people found Luigi's Reddit account, right? And when the whole thing went down, Reddit was so fast to delete everything. And of course that
Mm-hmm.
you would assume that comes from the top, like it's an order from the top to censor anything to do with him.
It could be also self-censorship.
Could be, yeah. It could be
It's
companies trying to not to get into any trouble, so they do it in advance. Uh,
yeah.
By the way, the video that I just
You,
sent you, there's something crazy that just apparently somebody left a comment that it said it got 1.5 million views in less than a day. And then the comment below said this video has been removed from YouTube's number one like the trending ranked list on YouTube. Basically puts
mm,
video on there based on how many views it gets within a short amount of time. So just in time we're talking about censorship. This is interesting.
mm,
Let me double
yeah.
check that. No, but all this is just getting, I don't know, like maybe it's time for me to unplug. I feel like I shouldn't be so plugged into the zeitgeist. Like at some point this is gonna, I don't know. You know how people talk about like, oh, getting
You,
so much information is going to be unhealthy for you, and then it happened to me anyway, and I feel like I've just been. This is how we've been living without, like, I don't know. Like, it's this is yeah. I don't know. Maybe we need to think very carefully, and we need to start steering this podcast towards the incumbent party in America. Now, should we start pushing right wing content and see if we get views?
we can try. We'll see. We will be like this. We'll say we're liberals that decided that we should try to become conservatives, MAGA, and to see if it makes sense, and what if we will like it.
Right.
At one point I was a Putin supporter. Then a long time ago, I was one day I just thought, what if my belief, let's call it like that,
Mhm.
is not really good? What if it's based on false information and I'm believing in something that is actually not true?
Yeah.
And I decided to test it, and it just didn't go through the test, and that's how I changed my opinion. And that's how I actually basically turned around. Mm. What if it will happen again? I mean, not the becoming back as a Putin supporter, but what if I'll become more conservative or more MAGA?
Did
But
you?
to be honest, I feel like some things that they mention and some issues that they talk about, I agree with them. It's just that I don't agree with the methods, and I don't agree with the logic all of the time.
Yeah.
And
Right now,
sometimes
like.
I feel like some problems
Mm.
are blown out of proportion,
Mhm.
and all the attention is steered towards it.
Yeah. A
When
lot of
in
people are.
reality, I don't feel like it's a really that big of a problem. Like
Mm.
there's problems that are a lot that affect people a lot more.
Yeah, a lot of people are claiming, well, not claiming, they're trying to push the idea of that incompetence does not necessarily mean conspiracy. That just because the current investigation are being handled by some people that are not very competent, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's something nefarious
Never
going on.
seen guns and how they shoot.
Mm.
The ballistics experts has he doesn't didn't see how ballistics work.
Yeah. But I don't I've always wondered, like, as a do you feel like okay, so let's suppose that this is done by an intelligence agency, Mossad, okay, or not Mossad, and um like their choice of assassination, that somebody would raise their hand, like in the agency, they're like, oh, what if we just poison him, because it's the easiest way, and it sends fear down the spine of anyone who is a dissident, right? It's the classic Russian method. Do you think it ever crosses their mind? They're like, oh, but wait, no, they'll think it's the Russians who did it, and we don't want to piss off Putin, so we had to go with a gunshot.
No, it's just that the general, like the head of the department, is a very old American. He's like, "This is America, boy. We use guns here.
Well, no, the prevailing
Poisons."
well, the prevailing conspiracy is that Charlie Kirk was about to kind of turn his, or like he's about to change his opinion on Israel, when he was a big supporter of Israel, but he, what have been happening in the right wing sphere that's really interesting is that you have people like Tucker Carlson, with people like Candace Owens, that these people are starting to come out and speak against the violence against Gaza. And maybe I think they're less about freeing Palestine, but more about the fact that America's giving away money to fund a genocide, as opposed to just helping the people in America. I think a lot some of these
Mhm.
right wing voices are echoing this sentiment, and I think the conspiracy is saying that Charlie Kirk is about to turn on on Israel, and they had to remove him, and they did that with him
Mm.
because he basically has access to the Gen Z right wing population, and that was why, like, they
Yeah.
felt like they had to do it. At first I didn't think
Hmm.
he was that influential, but two things happened. One was that I think I told you about this, is that Bibi Netanyahu came out before the president of the United States to give his condolences on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He came out and made a video about it, and then when Candace Owens come out and say that none of these things add up, And then because she gained a lot of popularity since she made a video about how Emmanuel Macron's wife, Brigitte Macron, is transgender. It's just really funny. But she
Hmm?
became very popular. And then, that's something we need to talk about as well, because trans or not trans, it is true that, Macron's wife is significantly older, and then they met when he was still a child. In any case, so Candace Owens, as usual, comes out with her rhetoric, and then Netanyahu felt the need to respond and made a video to say that these are scandalous lies. Like, dude, stay quiet. You don't have to say anything. Just stay quiet. Why? Why are you blabbering? Yeah, so that's why people think this is a hit job done by the Mossad.
Huh. I really don't know what to say.
I don't know. It's weird. Like,
I mean,
why?
I kind of guess it kind of makes sense, but I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
yet
it's
buying it.
circumstantial at best, but my takeaway is that I don't know why Netanyahu is so obsessed with what's going on in America. It's insane. That's like,
Well, I guess that part makes sense. It doesn't really confuses me because America is really important ally for Israel, isn't it?
it's funding everything that Israel is doing,
So
but
if everyone is suddenly yeah, free Palestine, then Israel is
yeah, they
that won't
won't
be
be
really good for
happy.
Israel.
But what I mean is the leader of Israel shouldn't be. Like, is it weird for me to think that it's like, I don't know, it's like something. Imagine a famous influencer in China was assassinated, and then Putin comes out and started making statements about it. That's weird. It's weird. You don't make the leader of a country don't come out and make statements about a podcaster,
Well, true.
because
Well, true.
yeah,
True. I didn't think about it in that way.
at the very end, like the Charlie Kirk is just a podcaster. So I'm guessing maybe this is like people are theorizing that because Charlie Kirk has access to such a huge young Gen Z population that are in the magosphere, uh that if with if Charlie Kirk were to turn on Israel, then it is very likely that the Trump government will not survive past the fourth year. That young people will vote him out. But yeah, even without this, I feel like he's gonna get voted out anyway.
I think so. Yeah. It seems like even his supporters are not really that happy.
Yeah, the
Although I feel like that was what happened the last time he was a president,
pretty
and
much, yeah.
still after Joe Biden, they elect him again. But I wish America would have a proper vote where everyone that wants to be president is present on the ballot and people just choose. And I forgot what's the name for this system, but you don't just select one person, you can actually prioritize them. You
Oh,
can
right,
just put a
right.
number. So this is my first pick, this is the second, blah blah blah.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And that way if you want to have as your first pick somebody that you feel like is niche, this way you're more likely to mention that you like this way you're more likely to vote for him, because in a system where you have to pick one, you're influenced by the thought that well, this guy is really niche, if I'll just select him, then most likely I'm going to kind of waste my vote, because
Yeah, yeah,
the real fight will happen between the two most popular ones. So I might as well select like the one that I like from the two most popular.
yeah.
And I feel like it always makes it so that not there everyone is like no one is actually really happy with like the Democrats are not really happy with the Democratic person fighting for presidency, and
Yeah,
kind of similar with there's Republicans, I guess, as well.
yeah.
Like it always comes down to two candidates that no one thinks is great. You're just like picking the least evil one.
Yeah, the turd sandwich or a douchebag, right? I think, and
Yeah,
then this is basically what happened to America was that Donald Trump didn't get elected because people were staunch believers of MAGA. It was because there were a lot of swing voters that were just simply so unhappy with the Biden administration, with how they performed, and then
yeah.
and COVID was a big killer, right? COVID, and then the inflation that ensued it basically removed a lot of the incumbent governments across the planet. Look,
Plus, they put out Biden again as the candidate,
yeah, that's so
even when.
stupid. Come on, like there was a lot of infighting, right? And I think that's what people saw. People were saying that that the Democrats was just as captured as just as captured by the infighting, because of all the different rich people that they represent. Um,
Mhm.
and then it's just a whole mess, and I feel like yeah with Trump, since his inauguration he didn't manage to fulfill on any of his promise, right? Like people were very looking forward to some kind of ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. Didn't happen. It happened briefly but then stopped, and then the people were hoping for an end, on for an end on Gaza. Trump's solution was that, oh, let's negotiate peace so that we can build a second. Did you see the AI rendering that they did for how to build Gaza into like a uh luxury condo slash casino space?
I briefly, I think I saw something really briefly.
But like just looking at this, you realize that these people are not serious. And it's just not gonna happen. And I'm afraid
Hmm.
that we're soon going into 2026 and there's gonna be another warfare that's happening. Oh, do you want to gamble? Is it gonna be Taiwan? No, please.
Uh,
Please don't. Please don't.
I,
Oh, I don't want to go.
yeah, maybe it's foolish, but I hope it won't be anything.
I am so close. Like apparently, I don't remember the exact um policy, but I imagine once I am beyond 35 years old, uh, because technically I'm still in the reserve, but I'm stopped being in the reserve once I reach 35. So if there's going to be any warfare, if China's going to do anything, can it wait a couple more years when I turn 35, please? Nah, this is just it's a whole mess. But yeah, our comeback episode and podcast just becomes super depressing about the state of the world.
Well, it's depressing for us, people that are listening to it that don't live in our countries are like, tough luck, guys.
Yeah. Well, I guess this would bring conclusion to our today's episode. I think what would be fun to talk about next time is the housing crisis, in the sense that like we all know the housing crisis, but I want to talk about all the different ways that our governments initiate wealth transfers, because our government has come out with a scheme that basically, to quench the fire that is people being upset about inflation and housing costs, the government came out with like a very supposedly lenient loan for housing for young people, that you can take the loan and then the bank pays for the house, of course, and then and then the loan is so nice that you don't need to pay any interest for the first 5 years, and then
Mm.
you pay for the house in the subsequent 40 years, which is insane because you don't know how the interest would change over the next 4 decades. You don't know what would happen over the next 4 decades. God forbid if you were to become grievously injured and not be able to pay because you're injured, you don't work, you don't have an income, you can't pay for your house, and guess what? It gets foreclosure, and it gets auctioned off, right? And then like we're starting to see that this is a trend that is starting to take over, that a lot of governments around the world would come out with like as opposed to dealing with the housing crisis, their solution is to offer you a mini version of the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. Is to give you a very is to give you a kind of a loan that seems promising and seems nice, and it would always have a grace period, usually for 4 years. But our government went with 5. You know why? Because after 4 years, they're not sure they're going to be in power again. So when it gets to
Yeah.
the 4th year, you're really unhappy. Guess what? It's going to be the opposition party, and you're going to be mad at them, and not the original. And the strategy is to bring a critical mass of young people to become asset owners, so they wouldn't be upset if housing costs are high, right? Because they'll be happy if their asset is worth a lot more.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering, like, if Latvia is going to do something like that, but you guys have an issue with population, is Switzerland going to do something like that? That'd be fun to talk about. No, is this
Yeah.
yeah? So we could we'll speak to Benny about this. But yeah, is there anything else that we didn't cover?
I would say no. I think, well, probably there is, but I think it's a good point to wrap up.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we start recording more mini episodes so we don't miss any weeks. Because it's been quite a long break. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We're also on Spotify if you'd like to check us out. And goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.